Hi guys, this is a quick tutorial on Trojan War, the history and the myth behind it. There are many different versions, and I know some of you might be more familiar than others. And these are just the basic points that I'd like you to know and begin to retain for our study of the Odyssey. So we're going to start our tutorial with how did the Trojan War begin? How did it begin? Well, what you need to know is that the gods and goddesses of ancient Greek times were human-like. They liked to do most of the things that humans do, like party and feast and, have love affairs. And they're human, more human than like the traditional gods that we might think of today. And they often had these grand parties on Mount Olympus according to the myths. Well, there was this one party that all the gods and goddesses were invited to except for Eris. Eris is the goddess of discord, and she was not invited. Discord means that you like to cause a lot of problems, and she's snubbed because of that. The way I remember the word discord is I think of the word discordant, and a discordant sound is one that kind of gives you the goosebumps when you hear it. It's not a pleasing sound. I know you guys probably don't even know what chalkboards are, but maybe some of you do. And if you took your fingernails and you ran it down the chalkboard, just kind of imagining that sound can make me have goosebumps because it's just unpleasing to the ear. So obviously you don't want the goddess of discord at your party because you want to have a great time. But when people snub you and you are a goddess or even a regular mortal human being, you feel offended and you want to get revenge, right? So she wants her payback. And so the one way that she knows that she can get under the skin of the gods and goddesses is to play on their vanity. Vanity means, you're concerned with how beautiful you are and how other people are perceiving that beauty. When I think of the word vanity, I think of Vanity Smurf, the Smurf that walks around with a mirror in his hand because he wants to constantly look at his reflection. So she knows if she sends this golden apple with the inscription for the fairest. In that context, fairest meaning the most beautiful. And so she sends that in the middle of the party. Obviously, this causes exactly what they were hoping to avoid: discord. All of the goddesses believe that the apple is meant for them. Of course, an argument ensues, and finally it comes down to the top three goddesses. There's always a hierarchy uh, when we're dealing with human beings. We like to put people in categories, and so there are three goddesses that kind of rise to the top. Those three goddesses are Athena, who will be a main character in our reading of the epic, the Odyssey. We have Hera, who is Zeus's wife, and we have Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. Those are our three main goddesses. So, of course, these goddesses need someone to choose. Well, the head honcho up there on Mount Olympus is Zeus. He's the god of all gods. But he doesn't want to choose because he has his own personal connection to each of these goddesses. Hera is his sister slash wife, and Zeus is constantly being unfaithful to her, having these little dalliances with mortal women. And so they're usually not seeing eye to eye, and he doesn't want to add this to her list of complaints against him. Aphrodite is beautiful and sweet. She's the goddess of love and beauty. And she's also his daughter, and he doesn't want to offend or disappoint her. And then Athena, of course, is his daughter. He has an affection for her, and she is the goddess of battle and wisdom. So he needs someone else to decide. And the gods often look at mortals, at human beings, as their puppets, their playthings, their toys. And so he says, I know I can get some mortal schmuck to do my work for me, someone who doesn't have to worry about, their daughters or their wives being upset with them, and someone who actually does have a really good eye for beauty. So he decides that he's going to choose Paris for this task. Paris has a backstory of his own. Paris was a prince, born a prince of the great city of Troy. And unfortunately, there was a prophecy where Paris's dad was given some bad news. Paris's dad is King Priam. Now, if you look in the picture, this is a great fortress or a stronghold. The city of Troy has many riches inside, and it stays safe because of this fortress. It's a very wealthy country, and many kings have wanted to fight against the Trojans, but they knew it would be a losing battle because of the citadel or the stronghold that protects it. So this prophecy that Paris would destroy Troy because, you know, there were priests that could read signs, and it's kind of like consulting your magic 8 ball, but with much more belief in this higher power. They said that, no matter the fact that you have this stronghold, this fortress to protect your city, Paris is going to make the city fall. And so King Priam was told to kill his son. But of course, he didn't have the heart to do that. He thought that would be just too extreme. He was a good man and he didn't want to kill his son. But he also has a higher duty as a king to protect his city, to protect his country. So he did what he thought was the next best thing. And he has his men leave Paris up in the mountains, thinking that he'll probably just die naturally if he's abandoned up there, and it won't be as bad as murdering him with your own hand. But but as fate would have it, fortunately for Paris, unfortunately for King Priam, he's found by a shepherd, and he's raised as a shepherd, watching his sheep, and he's content with that. Paris is happy with his life. It's a low-key life, not a lot of responsibilities. Paris is a handsome guy. He's kind of known as a lady killer. All the ladies love Paris. He likes to relax and please the ladies, and he's not interested in fighting. He's more of a lover rather than a fighter. And so, this seems like the perfect job for a guy like Paris, picking the most beautiful goddess. Well, when someone with power wants something from someone without power, one easy way, the easiest way to get them to do it is to bribe them. So the three goddesses resort to bribery. And each of the three goddesses offer their own bribe to our friend Paris. Hera offers the kingdom of Ethiopia for Paris to rule, and he would have great power, so he could become a powerful leader. And Aphrodite offers the most beautiful woman in the world will love him. Okay, not bad, not a bad idea. And then Athena, because she's the goddess of battle and wisdom, she offers Paris great honor in battle. Okay, he could become a great warrior. So which do you think Paris chooses? Well, of course, he's going to choose to have the most beautiful woman in the world to love him. But, as fate would have it, there's a problem.